I took my girlfriend on a vacation to propose, but she invited her friends without talking to me. After a few days being a third wheel, I left her and went home. My girlfriend, Sarah, she is 29 and I am 28, have been dating for 5 years, and I wanted to go on a vacation with her to celebrate. I planned the trip for several months. Of course, I shared my plans with her and decided on skiing, snowboarding, and other winter activities that we planned together. The activities seemed perfect, and I was looking forward to this for months because I wanted to propose to her at the end of the trip. 5 days before the trip, Sarah dropped the ball on me that she invited 2 of her friends to meet her there. I was upset because I wanted to spend one-on-one time with Sarah for our anniversary. I feel like it was plain and clear that this was a trip for just us. Even though I expressed my concerns, Sarah insisted that her friends already made plans to come and won't back out. I decided to accept this because there was no way for me to force her friends to not come. I wish I fought more on this. I figured we could make some changes to our plans, and I would still be able to propose to her privately. Sarah essentially blew me off for her friends, and we didn't get any private time. After 3 days of being in second place, I decided to leave the trip and head home. I told Sarah why I was leaving, and she was upset. She told her friends about my decision, and I was ganged up on. They said we were all having a great time. She thinks I'm being a jerk for making her pick between her friends and me, even though her friends weren't invited in the first place. I never had personal issues with her friends prior to this trip. I never made Sarah pick between me or her friends because everyone needs friends outside of a relationship. I'm at home now and thinking about everything. I have a day to myself before Sarah comes home, so at least I get to relax a bit. Sarah and her friends think I'm overreacting and think I ruined the trip. I think Sarah was disrespectful and rude to me by ruining the purpose of this trip and having her friends gang up on me. Edit number 1. This was a planned anniversary and romantic trip. I was clear that we have plans for just us 2. We've been on other anniversary trips together without her friends there. We did discuss marriage beforehand, so it's not like a proposal wouldn't been out of the blue. Edit number 2. My friends are here at the house and they have been running potential interference, just in case her friends try to bombard and harass me. They've been great and I'm so glad to have them. Edit number 3. None of Sarah's friends came by the house or harassed me yesterday/last night, which is good. Sarah hasn't come home yet. I figured out what I want to say and have it written out. Best comments. You sure you still want to propose? Even if it wasn't a proposal trip, it was so disrespectful of Sarah to basically pull the rug out from under him and get her friends to gang up. To do that to someone you've dated for 5 years. I would sit her down and go through the plans you had, including the proposal. Watch her surprised face, and then tell her you need time apart to evaluate the relationship. Maybe girlfriend was talking about the upcoming trip and her friends invited themselves? She still sidelined OP. He should definitely hold off on the proposal. Maybe she knew he was going to propose and doesn't want to marry him, so she invited them on purpose to ruin it. Update: 3 days after the first post. I decided that I wanted to end this entire relationship. I packed my important belongings, passport, clothes, etc., and arranged with my best friend to crash at his apartment until I can find my own. Usually when small issues happen in a relationship, it ties into a bigger issue of that relationship. The main reason why I decided to break up is because I realized that her friends will always be closer to her than me. Sarah has favored her friends over me and blown off some of our plans for her friends more than once. I was lying to myself for years because I didn't want to face reality yet. I had hoped she would change, but this trip really opened my eyes that I will always be in third place to her. I expressed my feelings multiple times, and Sarah promised she would change, and she didn't. Sarah came home late yesterday. I said I have a lot to get off my chest, and I want to get through my notes before she talks or tries to interrupt me. The first question I asked Sarah was how she thought the trip went. She said we all had fun and it was memorable. I think I shouldn't have to feel like the third wheel in my own relationship, especially on a trip that I planned. My next question was, why did you invite your friends in the first place? You knew this was an anniversary trip for us. She talked about the trip with her friends since the beginning, and they never been to Co. She thought it would be a good idea to allow them to come just so they can have fun in Co with us. I followed up with my lack of knowledge of her friends coming along until days before. It's one thing if they came and did their own activities. But it's another thing that every activity became a group activity. I signed up for a monogamous, not poly relationship. My last question was, did you know that I was going to propose to you? Sarah said she didn't know at all. The thought never occurred to Sarah that I was going to ask. She claimed that she wouldn't have invited her friends to come along if she knew, but I responded that it would ruin the surprise if I told you. Sarah begged me to stay with her and believes we can work everything out. She didn't want me to throw 5 years away after this one bad trip. I listened to her promises to change for years regarding her friends, but nothing happened. I ultimately left Sarah with this. It's clear that there isn't enough room in your heart for your boyfriend and your friends. As much as I love Sarah, I can't stay in a relationship where I'm not respected enough. I left Sarah in the house by herself, and I drove off to my friend's place. I'll figure out how to get my name off the lease, and I'll plan to get the rest of my belongings. As for the ring, I will return it this weekend. Best comments. Aside from the obvious issues of her behavior, the thing that throws me for the biggest loop is that she didn't immediately follow you home. If my partner had become upset enough that they left our anniversary vacation early, I would have been one step behind them to get home and unscrew whatever mess had been created, even if I thought that they were being unreasonable or dramatic about the whole thing. By staying, she basically said, "Your emotions and perspectives are not my priority and never will be," in her actions. Exactly this. How are you in a 5-year relationship and let your partner leave a trip upset? She sounds pretty callous. She forgot she was in a relationship with you while having the best time with her best friends on a trip you planned for her and you. Congrats on stepping up for yourself, dude. May you find someone who truly deserves you.